I saw this with the Baseball Hall of Fame, and I didn't know this existed. So on Monday, the Hall of Fame announced 10 more men, 9 players, 1 executive, who will be on the modern baseball era ballot. It's part of the era committee vote to be held by the baseball writers' baseball winter meetings on December 10th. So these are guys back up for consideration for the Hall of Fame. Jack Morris, Don Mattingly, Louis Tiant, Alan Trammell, Steve Garvey, and former Major League Baseball Players Association head Marvin Miller. This year marks the first consideration of the players from the modern baseball era. Dave Parker's on there. Dale Murphy's on there. Tommy John is on there. Alan Trammell. So the results of the modern baseball vote will be announced during the winter meetings in December. Do we know how many are the baseball writers voting on this? Do we know that, Fritzy?
I believe they are. I'll see what other details I can get as far as exactly who's involved in the process.
You have to have 75% or more of the ballots cast. No player has been voted in by the era committees since Deacon White, who played in the 1880s.
I still love your idea of levels of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there's floors.
There's floors, and it physically goes, like you said, that these are the guys who are in the just got in echelon. And then there's the first ballot, no doubt guys.
Well, if I have the penthouse, you can have Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Willie Mays. Because these guys, Dave Parker is not one of those guys. So if you had 4 floors or 3 floors and then a basement, you're still in the Hall of Fame. But it's going to be, hey, is this guy worthy of the first, second, third floor?
And like you've always said, there's certain guys that maybe don't have the stats, but they feel like they should be present in the Hall of Fame for the story of baseball, like Dave Parker and Dale Murphy. They may not have long enough stats, but there was a point where they were the face of the game.
Well, Mattingly had a run. Mattingly's run was similar to Terrell Davis. Does baseball, I think you have to have at least 10 years in if you're injured, whereas football, that's not the requirement. But Mattingly had the bad back, and Mattingly had a run that was as good as we've seen in a long, long time. And he was a great fielding first baseman, and he played for the Yankees. Jack Morris is a Hall of Famer. These writers got to get their act together here. Like, what's going on? Jack Morris had 175 complete games. He won 254 games. He was an ace for a couple of different World Series winners. Like, what are we missing here with this guy? Oh, his ERA was over 4. Yeah, that's back when men were men, where the guys didn't have quality starts. It's like Goose Gossage with 3 innings for a save. Yeah, that's when men were men. Not come in and face one guy. You're on a pitch count of 8. Alan Trammell, Hall of Famer. Louis Tiant. Marvin Miller should be in the Hall of Fame. All right? Plain and simple. There's only a couple of guys you can say, they changed the game. Marvin Miller changed the game. He was the executive director of the Players Union in the 60s and 70s. He turned the Baseball Players Association into the strongest professional sports union in the country. He's the reason there's free agency. He created free agency. He challenged the reserve clause. He came up 1 vote shy of the Hall in a previous era committee ballot, 2011. I don't understand that. Now, I know baseball and some of the owners, management, the commissioner's office probably doesn't like Marvin Miller because he's outsmarted everybody. Marvin Miller with contributions to the game. And here's another thing. I know I bring it up, and maybe it's a little tongue-in-cheek, but Tommy John, contribution to the game because of Tommy John's surgery, and I know he's the first to have it done, but you have a guy who went through this surgery, and now it feels like every pitcher, it's a rite of passage by the time you're 25 that you have Tommy John surgery. But Tommy John also had, I think, 282 wins, something like that. But you would think contributions to the game, Tommy John would be a Hall of Famer as well.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.